Hey guys, Dan Froels with Will. It's been a while. Will the Mr. Grey, Dandalf the Grey. It has been a while. For those who don't know, I've recently moved house a month ago. 2 days ago, I got my internet on. It hasn't been good. Excuse my decrepit skin right now. I'm going through an ugly phase, which has been going for quite a few years now. I've been away. I haven't been away. I've been in this house. I'm going to whinge and complain now. Not complain, but I'm going to rant. Vent. For the next, I don't know how long. This is all this video is going to be. It's going to be my comeback video because it's been a while. For those who don't know, I moved. I've been saying I've been to move house for a while. I had to move. It wasn't my choice. I had to. Nothing untoward. It's just someone else wanted to move into the house I was in. So I had to move out into this house. Looking at it, it looks pretty much identical. These curtains were here when I got here, mind. They're not my bloody curtains, which I don't mind them. They're a bit leafy and greeny. Probably can't see that in the camera, but you know. I've had a shit month. Now, this is what I'm going to rant and vent about is first world problems. There's a lot of horrible shit going on in the world right now, which is just it's too horrible to think about right now. But this is first world problems. I'm just going to whinge the entire time. I moved house on the 13th of January. I had to pack over Christmas. I hate moving house anyway. I hate packing. I hate everything to do with that. 4 days before I moved, someone crashed into the back of me whilst I was waiting in traffic lights at the red light. Crashed into the back of me, hit me into the front of the car in front. I might have mentioned this before I went offline, but that was an issue. So I had that to contend with. I still haven't had my car fixed. I'm waiting for the garage to get back to me. So that was a couple of days before I moved. But before I moved, 2 weeks before I moved, I got in touch with my internet provider, BT. I'm calling you out. Apart from the two people who really helped me, Shabazz, I think he's from London. If you ever see this, I appreciate the help you did. He was a customer service dude who constantly got back to me on phone calls. Fair play to him. And Amy, the engineer, who finally came out. It wasn't her fault that she didn't come out until the fourth time. I'll get into it. But anyway, 2 weeks before I moved, I got in touch with my internet service provider and said, look, I'm moving in 2.5 weeks. Can you transfer my account to this new address and activate my internet when I move in, please? And he's like, yes, of course. No problem, sir. It's been 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I moved in on the 13th. My activation was supposed to be the 16th. They didn't turn up. Now, admittedly, it was a tiny bit of snow outside. It was tiny. Really tiny, but I took time off work. Nobody turned up. But nobody got in touch with me either. So I was phoning them back and saying, oh, nobody's turned up. Nobody's turned up. And I'm like, oh, we're awfully sorry. We'll arrange a new appointment for the Thursday after. The Thursday after comes. I couldn't get time off work, so I had to have a family member come down and stay here. Nobody turned up. And that was after like almost, where was it? That was almost like a week and a half without internet. You know what, right? I'm a kid from the 80s and 90s. I grew up without internet. No problem. Now, it's bloody shit not having internet because everything is online. Everything is online. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't access my emails. Didn't have Discord on my phone. Couldn't access anything like that apart from like uploading a really shitty video on my phone. But anyway, first world problems, like I said. But anyway, the third appointment was arranged. No, sorry. The second appointment, the engineer didn't turn up. So I phoned him again. I'd never get ratty with someone on the phone because I've worked in, not customer service on the phone, where I've worked face to face. And I've learned that, you know, after working a job like that in my old job years ago, dealing with customers, I will never be arsey to a salesperson or a guy behind the counter or a guy on the other end of the phone anymore, because I know what it's like to deal with people phoning up who are not happy with a product or something. I know what it's like to deal with that, so I'll never be arsey on the phone. So I wasn't arsey, but I was like, look, this is the second time now that the engineer hasn't turned up. So this was when I finally got in touch with Shabazz, because I'd gone through a couple of customer service people, and Shabazz, fair play, if you ever see this, you probably won't, but if you ever do, I appreciate all the help you did. He looked into it, and the person who rebooked my second appointment never rebooked it. They just said they were going to rebook it, and they never did. I can't remember their name. So I thought, right, that's bloody annoying. So fair play, Shabazz say, I'll phone you back tomorrow. No, at the time I was like, yeah, of course you will. He did, fair play. He phoned me back at 6 o'clock the next day. He said, I'm going to rebook this appointment for you. Shabazz, I appreciate it. And he's like, I'm going to rebook it for you for next, I can't remember what it was. Was it Friday? I think it was the Friday after. All right, so that would have been like the third week. I thought, all right, I'll do it. I've been entertaining myself with other things, which I'll get into. So the third appointment comes around. No engineer. And I thought, are you for real? So once again, I phoned them up. Shabazz didn't answer because, like I said, I phoned them. And they said, oh yeah, the engineer should have come out. I do apologise. I will look into it. They never got back to me. Shabazz himself got back to me the next day. Fair play to him. Again, he didn't have to get back in touch with me. He could have just fobbed me off to another customer service. But fair play to him. He got back to me again, Shabazz. And he looked into it, and for some reason it wasn't booked again. I was like, Shabazz, I appreciate all the help you've been doing, but I just don't understand why the first appointment, I can understand a missed appointment on the first appointment, but the last two then were not rebooked when I was being told they were rebooked. And he like apologised. So he rebooked again, and this was for when was it? It was for last Friday. It's Tuesday today. That was for Friday just gone. I had to go to work, so once again I had to have a family member stay in the house all day for the engineer. And the engineer came, and they couldn't do it on the day. They had to do some rewire, and I was like, all right, that's fine. And they, fair play to this Amy girl. She was the engineer. She came back on a Saturday, and I apologised to her for dragging her out on a Saturday. She did all her rewiring and got the internet into this room. Very happy. I appreciate Amy. If you ever see this, you probably won't, but I appreciate it. And finally back online. And that's the internet. The BT, right? Apart from Shabazz and Amy, who were bloody brilliant, BT, I've been with BT for years, and I've had issues in the past, but nothing as big as this. And they said, oh, it's okay, we'll compensate you. I think they chucked 20 quid in my bank account like a couple of days ago. I said, what's that? That's nothing. That's nothing. I'm not knocking 20 quid. 20 quid is, is 20 quid at the end of the day, but I don't know what that's supposed to compensate, to be honest with you. My channel, because I haven't done anything with it for almost a month, it's pretty much just died. Not died, but with the thing with YouTube, if you don't upload constantly, it sort of like dwindles in its, analytics. So it has, unfortunately, so I have to build that back up. But it's fine. I enjoy doing it anyway. So yeah, that was my internet drama. And like this last 4 weeks, it's been shit, because I've probably I'm pay-as-you-go phone. I stopped having a contract phone years ago, so I just have a pay-as-you-go phone. I pay like £10 a month, and they put like, I don't know, it's like something like 4 gig of data on my phone. But because I didn't have internet, I was using that almost every 2 days. And it wasn't because I was watching stuff. It was because, I don't know, in this house, for some reason, this must be something with the signal. It's constantly searching for the 4G. And so it was just killing my data. And I kept topping it up and topping it up and topping it up. I spent about, I think, 60 quid in the last 4 weeks buying data for this piece of shit. So there was that. And like I said, I don't have normal TV. I've always just watched Netflix, Now TV, Prime, stuff like that. Or catch-up TV. So I don't have normal TV. I don't have a TV license, which I think I'm fairly sure I'm allowed not to. So I've always relied on like Netflix and whatever, but I couldn't watch any of those. So what I've had to do, I've had to go to work or at my mother's, download a TV show or like 2 episodes, because that's all I can fit on my bloody phone. And I've just been watching it in that little corner right there with the dim light, like a peasant. It's been really annoying. Also, not to rant on, but I'm going to. I've moved into the coldest house I have ever lived in. Luckily in this room, I've actually got a cool little fire. It's from the 1990s by the looks of it, but it does warm the room up, I must say. Because like I said, this is the coldest house I've ever moved into. I've ever lived, I must say. It's a remote control fire. It's weird. I've never had one, and it's from the 90s. So yeah, that's all I've been able to do is like occasionally go online to check someone's channel, or I was in the Ouija Brothers live stream the other day, but I could only pop in there for a bit because my data ran out. And this has been my life for the last month. Like I said, this is first world problems. It's just other horrible shit going on, but this is my problem. But I'm finally back. And I've missed everything. I've missed whatever's been going on in everything, ever. Work has been shit, as usual. But I'm complaining a lot now, so I do apologise. But yeah, I just had to entertain myself for 4 weeks. And, you know, that's really hard when you're me. Just watching TV shows on your phone in the corner like a lonely person.
You always left me satisfied and smiling, so... That's what she said!
And yeah, that's pretty much it anyway. But just thought I'd, you know, little comeback video and an update of where I've been and why you haven't seen anything from me. And if there's one thing I've learned through all this without internet, like I said, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I didn't have internet back then. It was totally fine. If there's one thing I've learned, is if you don't have someone to cuddle up to at night, life is shit without the internet. See you soon.